is Shelby Milliken, your AAU Karate Ambassador, and I'm here on AAU The Spotlight Meet the Masters with Sensei Rannie Ladner, a 7th degree Shotokan black belt, longtime owner of Gulf Coast Shotokan, and he has taught over 10,000 students, coached national level competitors, and earned his place in the AAU Karate Hall of Fame. His story includes perseverance, leadership, and rebuilding after tragedy. We're honored to have him on the show today.
Hello, how you doing? This is Rannie Ladner, and I'm from Mississippi, and I look forward to this interview. Shelby
It's
sounds like a Shelby sounds like a professional. She should pursue this as her career, maybe.
Thank you. It's an honor to meet you. I look forward to getting to know you in the conversations.
Cool. Looking forward to it, sweetie.
All right, so let's dive right in. What brought you to the world of martial arts?
Um, that's a good question. Okay, I've been a country guy all my life. I flew with horses, and I just been out in the country with like 100 acre farm and all of that. And then I moved to Baton Rouge, Louisiana, right in the city. And I never lived in the city in my life, and so I was quite bored. Every day I'd come home and cut the grass and stuff, and it wasn't growing enough for me to keep cutting it. So I had to find something else to do. So I was reading one day in a magazine, and I seen where they had martial arts in Baton Rouge at LSU. So I went out there and I said, well, I'm going to go out there and check that out. I've never been familiar with martial arts because they didn't have none of that down where I live. And so I went out and checked it out and everything. And I happened to go to a very advanced class. And when I saw it, I thought to myself, I said, there's no way I could do all of this. I said, I'm just not smart enough to do this. And so, but I kept watching it and everything, and I was real enthused about what I saw. So I kept pursuing it and everything, and eventually I joined up and everything, and started karate out at LSU. And I'm sure this would brighten you up, Shelby. But I remember starting karate out there, and when I first started, they would have the everybody fighting at the same time, and I was fighting higher ranked people. So when I first started out there, uh, they had this green belt girl that was really, really good. And she would whip my butt every time we went to class. And I said, wow, I said, this is something else. I said, I think I want some of this. So I joined up, and 50 years later, I'm still in it. So that's my story.
Right, and that's why I love karate. Like karate is for everyone. That you can learn so much and do so much with your teammates.
So
So
true. So true, sweetie.
right, so building on that question, what styles have you mastered and why that one specifically?
Well, to be honest with you, I don't think I've mastered none of them. But Shotokan is my style, and that's where it was at LSU when I started, and I continued there and stayed with it. I branched out a little bit to other styles, training with them and competing with them and everything, but I really, really like Shotokan, so I had a tendency to stay with that.
Right. So what motivates you not only as like a competitor but as a mentor?
Um, that's a big question there. Uh, when I started teaching karate, I was a very strict instructor. I was raised like that as a child and everything, and I was very strict. And I cared a lot about my students. And my students, I had their school grades monitored. I got in contact with the school teachers and everything, and made sure that they maintain a C average. And also, every student from 4 year old up had to make their bed every morning. And so, what I was trying to do is just make a better person out of everybody that come to the school. And I I taught the same way I taught that karate wasn't about fighting. it was about turning the other cheek and walking away, and let everybody know that it makes you a better person to walk away from violence than sit there and obtain in it.
Yes, because another lesson in karate is like they'll think, oh, you do karate, you fight, but another like life lesson in karate is like the discipline and the respect.
That's so true, so true. When I first started taking karate, like I said, there wasn't many people from down here uh, in the martial art field, and plenty times that I would be away from my home and stuff. I've had people to come up and wanted to, ask me to go outside to show them stuff, or either they were actually wanting to fight to see what I knew. But I always said you're a better person than I am, because I've always taught karate is about not fighting, not sitting there and obtaining into a fight. So it's really it's really intrigued me to stay into it all these years.
Yes. So when did you start specifically coaching with the AAU?
Probably in the early '70s, I started. I've been in it a long time, and I got started in it. I was in with the JKA organization with Sensei Makami, and then I started going to several tournaments and stuff, and then I ventured out and eventually joined the AAU and stuff, and then been with it the rest of my time up to now.
Right. So as a sensei, how do you motivate and teach the kids at your dojo?
Um, Once again, I was a very strict instructor, so they had to maintain grades, they had to make the bed, but the main thing was making a person a better person, to be able to sit back and watch the person grow and everything, because each individual has their own personality and stuff, and it's hard being a good instructor. Being a instructor is easy, but being a good instructor is very hard. And I don't mean to sound like I'm boosting, but I've always felt like that I was a very good instructor because I loved all of my students. And I'm the type of person that I can learn from a 2 year old. It doesn't take a master for me to learn from. So I have an open mind to so many things in life, whether it's spiritually, whatever it may be. I have an open mind to be able to grow from what I learn from.
So that actually leads me to my next question. What do you love about being a mentor in this field of karate?
Um, I like making a difference in someone's life. I really do. I had a karate student that I taught for years and traveled all over with her and everything. She was a girl, and she was really, really good. And then she moved off to college. I didn't have a 4 year college in my area, so I would teach for all these years. But when it got time for college, they had to move off. But she had to write an essay, and her daddy. Let me drop back a little bit. I saw her daddy about 10 years after that, and he says, I have to tell you something. He said, you're not going to believe what happened. And he went on to tell me about his daughter writing an essay article, and it was about me, how much I improved her life and how important I was in her life. And that was very special to me. That was really, really special. And so I always have those type of memories with that kind of stuff. And so main thing to answer your question is just trying to make a person to be a better person. And it
Well,
doesn't have to be martial arts. It can be anything in life.
well, I know that's like awesome to be recognized. So, on a related note, you've coached over like thousands of students, and each student is different. How do you navigate their situations?
Um, uh, where you finding all these questions at, young lady? That's some good questions. I'm having to think a little bit. Uh, Teaching karate and being in karate and involved in it, it's a big challenge in training people. And how do you navigate this? It's hard. It's hard. Once again, It sounds like I'm boasting, but truly I'm not. It's hard being a good karate instructor. And there's many, many nights I would go to sleep and thinking about what I could do for each individual student in my class. How could I improve them? Because you had to approach them in all different ways and everything. And a lot of people don't even know this, but I train race horses, and I used to be a professional jockey and stuff. So I've always had to study this type of stuff of what it takes to improve an athlete, what it takes to improve a horse. I used to train dogs, many, many dogs I've trained, and it's all similar to everything. You always have to have an open mind and listen and watch and study because animals are very smart, just like people are, very intelligent, and so you have to navigate each one individually and a direction in life that they go. One person you can get on real hard, one person you can't even raise your voice on. Same way with a horse. One person you can reach back there and pop their butt, another one you can't even raise your voice at. And everything is different when it comes to all of that type of stuff. So you have to study it, and you have to have an open mind and realize that we don't know everything, but we're trying to be the best we can be in what we do.
That's a good point. So, building on what you just said, in your opinion, which is harder to train, a student or a racehorse?
Um, well, the horse can't talk, and the students can be very sassy. So, but hmm, uh, they're similar in a lot of ways. They really are. There's once again, students, you got to handle them very delicate, and some you can raise your voice. I have two kids, a boy and a girl. My son, you could raise your voice and do everything in him, and he just look at you and smile. And my daughter, you raise your voice at her, she start crying. And my horses were the same way. Some horses, little bitty things would scare them. Some, nothing would bother them. And it's the same way with the karate students and stuff. You have to approach it in a different aspect in every way in training, but at the same time, you have to study each thing that you do from the negative to the positive aspect of it.
That's a good point. So, I know you've been coaching for decades. What would you say is your favorite memory?
Um, hmm. I used to travel international a lot, and we were in Budapest, and I love kids, especially babies. Sometimes when I go to tournaments and stuff, I want to go up to babies and hold them and stuff. I just love babies, and I was a delegate on the USA team in Budapest, and I got to know the coach real good at Kosovo because we would order big meals and stuff for our team, and then the leftovers I would bring to his team. And I got to talking with him a lot and everything, and I found out this was a world championships. I found out that they had athletes. It's a true story. They had athletes that were fighting in the war 2 weeks prior to this competition, and they pulled off of it to come down and compete in this. So, but what really touched me with one of my favorite memories was when the kids would win, all the adults, it wouldn't matter, they would take the trophy that they won and they would bring it out there and they would hold hands, even the older ones with the kids, and just dance around it and sing and stuff. And I thought that was very touching. I think a lot of times we don't realize how blessed we are here in the United States. And you see those people from different countries like that really have it hard, but yet they're very cheerful and all of that. So that was kind of things that really touched me. And on top of all of that, I've been to a lot of international world championships. And when you see the USA on the podium for first place, and when they do that, whoever's got first place, that's the national anthem that they play the music to. And it's so touching to see a USA athlete up there and they playing the national anthem for the USA, and it's very touching.
Yes, that is. I know it's amazing because you have your country's pride, and to see that on the podium, especially in our sport of karate, is really amazing.
Yes, so true. So true.
So you've achieved a lot in your time with the AAU. How does it feel to be recognized for your overall contributions, not just as an instructor, but in your overall region as well?
It's good. It's good for anybody to be recognized because a lot of times when you're behind the scenes in the same way with so many other things, you're not recognized that very much. But I've always had the honor of being recognized in a lot of ways. I'm on the executive committee with the karate program, and regional director for the state of Mississippi, Louisiana, and Texas, and I'm also on the Louisiana AAU board. So I feel like I've been recognized and in appreciation. It makes someone like me to want to do more and stuff. Even though I'm getting up in age and stuff, it's always good to say, "You're doing a good job. You're doing a good job." And I always like to do that with my athletes and stuff. I don't care if you win. It doesn't matter to me if you win. But if you go out there and give everything you got, to me, you are a winner. Whether you get the medal or not, you my winner. And that's what's important to me.
Yes, sir. And that's really is a great point. That it's not always about winning or getting a medal. It's about trying your hardest, and it's about working hard to deserve the win or the placement that you got.
So true. So true.
So, is there someone that made a profound impact on your karate career, whether it be one of your mentors or even one of your students?
Yes, probably the biggest in my life, in my martial arts and stuff. I train with a lot of good people. I train with Sensei Makami, Takayuki Makami from Japan, very, very good instructor. But who really made a difference in my life with the martial arts, believe it or not, is our president of the AAU, Joe Merza, which is my sensei. And he's AAU don't realize how fortunate they are to have him. And he's a friend of mine, but it wouldn't matter even if he wasn't a friend of mine. He's a very intelligent man. I've been with him in many international trips and stuff, and I know how much he loves kids. And I'm a true lover for kids too. And I watch him and stuff. And then through the teaching of karate and stuff, once again, I train with some of the best. But he was always the type you could go up to and say, Sensei, why do we do this? Not do this and not ask the question why. But you could ask the question why, and he could sit there and show you everything that you would ask him. And he's a very, very good mentor to me, and a true friend. And whether I knew him or not as a friend or nothing, he's had a big influence in my life in many ways.
It is. I know it's very awesome to have Sensei Mirza in the AAU because he's really an awesome person that you can like look up to, someone that you can go to and ask questions to, and not be like nervous or scared or anything.
So true. So true, sweetie.
So being an instructor for like over 30 years, how do you feel fulfilled in with your work in the AAU?
Um, yes. Yes, I do feel fulfilled. And AAU is a family to me. They my family just like my immediate family. I have one of the best families in the world. I'm one of seven siblings, and I have a beautiful family and everything. But my second family is AAU. I have met some of the best people in AAU, and I have friends that I've had for 25, 30 years, and I will die with them being my friend because they're true friends. There's an old saying goes that you can count your true friends on one hand. That may be true, but I have a lot of true friends through AAU, and they just that's what attracts me to AAU. They are family, and that's what we try to instill in our karate program with them, and whatever it may be. So that's my thoughts about what motivates me for the karate program, for the AAU program, or whatever it may be. Is family orientated.
Because, like, right, because I feel like I have a karate family in AAU and at my dojo, and building relationships in karate is one of the my favorite things about karate.
Good, good. You're a very intelligent young lady.
Oh, thank you. So, do you have any advice for someone who might want to follow in your footsteps?
Um, yes, the main thing to me is just being a good person and a loving person, and and the second thing probably is to make your own footsteps and not following someone's footsteps. Hopefully, we can be examples of what the person wants to be and everything, but make your own footsteps, and then maybe someday somebody can come and follow yours. But be a good person and have a good positive aspect about life, and not think of negativity, because this day and time a lot of things is out there for negative stuff, and we should be leaders of positive things, and I feel that that's what the AAU does.
Definitely. So, as being an instructor in the AAU or an instructor at your dojo, where do you think your road leads now?
um, Slowing down a little bit because I'm getting older and stuff, and I'm still in the racehorse business, and I want to slow down, but I don't want to never lose memories. I will stay active in the AAU forever, probably, and but I've had so many wonderful and beautiful memories through friends, and I don't want to ever lose those type of memories. And AAU will always be a place that I call home.
So, being a leader in the AAU as you are, what are your ambitions for the future of AAU?
Probably mainly to see it grow. I would love to AAU to grow and everything, and I would love people like yourself to stay active in it and everything, because at my age I've seen what karate can do for people, and we have so many different sports in AAU. But the discipline and the respect that you get, you have a tendency to bring that with you through the rest of your life and stuff. So whether it be any other sport and stuff, stay with it, and realize that we all have to answer to somebody. It doesn't matter who it is. So sometimes when we don't want to do things, that's the times we need to do it. And I'm the type of person, and I've always said this and I'll continue to say it. For the younger group, you show me a good karate student, I'm going to show you some good parents. And that's the way it is with the thing. We have the support for everything. So no, it doesn't matter what we have. We can look up there in the bleachers, and if we don't have the support of the parents, we don't have a program. And it doesn't matter what sport it is. So it all works hand in hand like a glove. So my ambition, to answer your question, is to see AAU grow in every sport, and I have zero doubt in my mind that we have the best president in there, because I've been knowing him for too many years, and I've been by his side for good times and bad, and I know how much he cares about kids. I know because I've seen him come to bat with all these young kids in international world championships, that he protects his kids. and that's what his job is. And he's a very good leader. And once again, he's my personal friend, but I would say the same thing if he wasn't my friend.
Yes, and I totally agree with you about that because without parents, without the people there for you, constantly like cheering for you and pushing for you, you wouldn't be competing, you wouldn't be traveling. It like you wouldn't be able to do AAU without the parents. So, and I know my parents and the parents of all my friends that are athletes are awesome parents, and like shout out to you guys because you support them. So, for our final question, how would you, Sensei Randy Ladner, like to be remembered in the future of AAU karate?
Ah, I think I would like to be remembered as a good spiritual person and a very honest person, and that I care a lot. I care about people, I care about their feelings, and I care about their future. And I think that the programs that we offer through the AAU and the leadership that we have, and all the people that helps in all these different programs, whether it's the people in the concession stands or the people putting the markers on the field, it's the parents, it doesn't matter. It's all a family thing and we all work together and everything. And that's what makes this whole thing so special. So I would like to be remembered as a good person and being a good follower of the AAU.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. Mr. Ladner, thank you for sharing your experience and wisdom with us today. Your dedication to the AAU and your passion for teaching has inspired so many people. Thank you for keeping martial arts strong at the Gulf Coast, and thank you for joining us today.
You're more than welcome, and you keep going like you're going, girl. You got a future ahead of you, just in marketing and stuff as a sports director or something. So someday I'm gonna say, I saw this girl. I talked to this young lady and stuff. You're gonna be on television.
Yes, thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you in the future tournaments.
All right, Shelby. God bless and take care of yourself.
Thank you.